Welcome, decor lovers. Today, we're stepping into a breathtaking vintage farmhouse where bright yellows and serene blues dance together in perfect harmony. Every corner of this home tells a story of warmth, nostalgia, and intentional design. From plush textiles to charming antique finds, this tour is packed with inspiration to transform your own space. If you love farmhouse charm with a fresh twist, hit subscribe and like. Let's dive in together. Don't forget to comment your favorite detail below. The adventure begins at the front door, painted in a radiant buttery yellow that feels like a perpetual sunrise. This vibrant hue sets the tone for the entire home, blending vintage charm with modern optimism. Flanked by rustic blue planters bursting with seasonal blooms, the entryway whispers, "Come on in." The mix of textures, wrought iron hardware, a weathered wooden bench, and a braided jute rug, creates an inviting first impression that's both stylish and lived in. step into the living room, where a sky blue sofa anchors the space, softened by layers of ivory knit throws and embroidered pillows. A vintage yellow armchair adds a playful contrast, while an antique oak coffee table grounds the arrangement. The walls, painted in a barely there cream, let the textiles and decor shine. Every piece feels curated. Think hand-painted ceramics, a well-loved quilt draped over the armrest, and a flickering candle for that final touch of hygge. The kitchen is a masterpiece of function and charm, with cabinetry in a soft cornflower blue and open shelving displaying golden-toned stoneware. A farmhouse sink sits beneath a window dressed in gingham curtains, filtering sunlight onto a bowl of fresh lemons, nature's decor. The brass hardware glints against the matte paint, and a vintage yellow stepped stool adds a whimsical touch. This space proves that even the busiest rooms can feel like a cozy, sunlit haven. The primary bedroom is a sanctuary, with walls washed in pale blue and a crisp white iron bed piled high with buttery yellow linens. A crocheted bedspread adds texture, while a mismatched pair of vintage nightstands tells a story of collected treasures. The real showstopper? A reclaimed wood dresser painted in a muted mustard, topped with a gallery wall of botanical prints and an heirloom mirror that catches the morning light just right. Even the hallway shines in this home. A narrow console table in distressed blue holds a collection of amber glass bottles, each catching the light differently. Above it, a series of miniature oil paintings in golden frames adds an artful touch. A woven runner leads the eye forward, proving that no space is too small for thoughtful design. It's these little moments that make the home feel endlessly charming and personal. The dining room balances elegance and playfulness. A solid oak table pairs with mismatched chairs, each painted in varying shades of blue and yellow. A chunky knit table runner softens the wood, while a chandelier with Edison bulbs casts a warm glow over family meals. Open shelving showcases heirloom dishes and a few quirky flea market finds, reminding us that the best homes are those filled with love and a little imperfection. In the bathroom, subway tiles meet pale blue shiplap, creating a serene backdrop for a clawfoot tub dressed in a fluffy yellow towel. Wicker baskets hold rolled-up linens, and a vintage ladder serves as extra storage. The mirror, framed in chippy white paint, reflects the room's soft glow, while a single stem of eucalyptus in a blue glass vase adds a spa-like touch. It's proof that even utilitarian spaces can feel luxurious. Tucked into a kitchen nook, a petite bistro set in sunshine yellow invites slow mornings with coffee and a book. The wall behind it features floating shelves holding blue and white mugs and a tiny potted herb garden. A framed vintage ad adds nostalgia, while a woven pendant light overhead completes the vignette. This spot is a reminder that the best designs cater to life's simple pleasures. Every home needs a reading nook, and this one, nestled by a window, is pure magic. A deep blue wingback chair is paired with a yellow ottoman, topped with a stack of well-loved books. A floor lamp with a linen shade casts the perfect reading light, and a side table holds a cup of tea and a sprig of fresh flowers. It's a tiny escape, proving that intentional design can carve out serenity anywhere. Even the laundry room gets the vintage treatment. Pale yellow walls brighten the space, while open wire baskets hold neatly folded linens. A rustic wooden countertop provides folding space, and a framed antique washboard adds a nostalgic touch. Blue glass jars hold detergent and clothespins, turning a mundane chore into a moment of beauty. It's all about finding joy in the everyday. One of this home's standout features is its fearless mix of patterns: gingham, stripes, florals, and checks all coexist happily. The secret? A cohesive color palette and varying scales. A large floral rug might anchor a room, while tiny striped pillows add contrast. Texture plays a role too: nubby knits, smooth ceramics, and rough hewn wood keep the eye moving. The result? A home that feels dynamic yet harmonious. Gallery walls here aren't just filler, they tell stories. A mix of vintage oil paintings, botanical sketches, and family photos in mismatched frames creates depth. A large sunburst mirror in the living room bounces light around, while a collection of blue and white plates in the dining room adds whimsy. The key is balance: one statement piece per wall, surrounded by smaller, meaningful accents. This home embraces sunlight like a long-lost friend. Sheer linen curtains filter light without blocking it, while mirrors strategically placed amplify brightness. Reflective surfaces, like a glass coffee table or metallic accents, help bounce light around. Even the color choices play a role. Yellows and blues inherently feel airy and uplifting, making every room feel bathed in golden hour glow. Plants breathe life into every corner, from a trailing pothose on a bookshelf to a potted fern in the bathroom. A windowsill herb garden in the kitchen is as practical as it is pretty, while a statement fiddle-leaf fig in the living room adds height and drama. The mix of terracotta pots, blue ceramic planters, and woven baskets ties the greenery seamlessly into the home's palette. Textiles are the soul of this farmhouse. Every throw, pillow, and rug was chosen for both comfort and style. A chunky knit blanket drapes over the sofa, while a braided jute rug adds rustic texture underfoot. Even the curtains are tactile, with linen panels that flutter in the breeze. The lesson? Layering softness creates a home that's as cozy as it is beautiful. The charm of flea market treasures, a chippy paint milk jug holding wildflowers, a decades-old quilt with fading hues, or a tarnished silver tray repurposed as a catch-all. These pieces add character and history, making the home feel collected over time rather than decorated overnight. The key is to let imperfections shine. They're what make the space uniquely yours. Lighting here is anything but an afterthought. A mix of sources, overhead pendants, table lamps, and wall sconces creates ambience at every level. A vintage-inspired chandelier in the dining room feels grand yet approachable, while a tiny brass task lamp on the desk adds focused warmth. The golden glow of Edison bulbs enhances the home's nostalgic vibe, proving that lighting can be both functional and artistic. Curtains here are understated yet impactful. Think lightweight linen in creamy whites or pale blues, hung high to elongate windows. Simple tiebacks keep them casual, while subtle patterns, like a barely there stripe, add interest without overwhelming. In the kitchen, cafe curtains in yellow gingham strike a playful note, filtering light while maintaining privacy. The takeaway? Window dressing should enhance, not dominate. A well-designed home engages all the senses, and scent plays a starring role. Here, a simmering pot of citrus and rosemary on the stove, a lavender sachet tucked into a drawer, or a single beeswax candle on the coffee table creates an inviting atmosphere. The fragrances are fresh and subtle, nothing overpowering, just enough to make the space feel alive and welcoming. Personalized DIY elements abound: a hand-painted sign above the bed, a refurbished dresser with new hardware, or a macrame wall hanging crafted over a weekend. These touches make the home feel deeply personal and lived in. The message? You don't need a big budget to create beauty, just creativity and a little elbow grease. The farmhouse magic doesn't stop at the door. A front porch with rocking chairs in bright blue and yellow invites lazy afternoons, while a backyard garden path lined with vintage-inspired lanterns sets a fairy tale mood. Even the potting shed gets a makeover, with cheerful paint and salvaged windows. Outdoor spaces should feel like natural extensions of the home's interior, cozy, colorful, and full of life. Yellow sparks joy and energy, while blue calms and soothes. Together, they create a balanced, uplifting atmosphere. This home uses varying shades to play with mood: brighter yellows in social spaces, softer blues in retreat-like rooms. The combo feels timeless yet fresh, proving that color psychology is a powerful design tool. has no place here. Baskets under consoles hold blankets, a vintage trunk doubles as a coffee table with hidden storage, and open shelving keeps daily essentials within reach yet artfully arranged. The lesson? Good design is as much about function as it is about beauty. At its core, this home isn't about trends, it's about creating a space that feels authentically joyful. From the handwritten recipe cards in the kitchen to the family photos sprinkled throughout, every detail speaks of love and intention. That's the real secret to great design. Let your home tell your story. What did you love most about this bright and cozy farmhouse? Whether it's the color combo, the vintage finds, or the layered textiles, I hope you're leaving inspired to infuse your own home with personality. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below with your favorite takeaway. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep decorating with heart.